Alright, we have a very significant update in Photoshop. If you remember 5 months ago, they changed the select subject to work much better in the cloud. Well, now they've just updated the algorithm for on-device. So right now we're going to have a look at it and see if the on-device matches the cloud quality of selections. And if that's the case, we don't have to go to the cloud anymore to make these selections. Let's find out. So about 5 months ago, Adobe did a massive update to the algorithm for the auto select when we're using the select subject. And they vastly improved it working in the cloud. Today, in Photoshop Beta, we have the device version, which means that we can make these selections without having to be connected to the internet or without having to send our images across the cloud. So let's test it out right now. So here we are in Photoshop 2025. And we're going to use this image as the starting image. We will try some different types of images, but let's start with this one because this is tricky with the spokes on the bike and also not necessarily a simple background. So what we want to do is we're going to grab the object selection tool. Now we could choose select subject, but before we do, we're going to go in here and we want to change this to device because I want to compare this device setting with the new setting. Now, this works on either select subject or remove background. Both of these give exactly, they use the same tool. And then we're going to choose select subject. Okay, I notice it just kind of selected her. It didn't even get the bike in this case. So why don't we just Command J and we will copy that selection to a new layer and we can see that's what we got. The other thing we could do, let's compare this now to the new select subject in the beta. This is on device, so we're going to choose object selection tool. Under select subject, we're going to go to device. Now before I do, I'm going to hit Control J because I want to be able to do a comparison. So we're going to use the device and we're going to choose select subject. Wow, look at that. And let's put it into a mask. As you can see, I mean, it's already a lot better. Let's create a new color layer just so we can see it, and we'll put that underneath. All right, so we can see here the spokes are definitely a lot better. The edges are better. It gets into all these little gaps. So clearly the new device is much better than what it used to be. But now we want to compare the device and see how well it does compared to the cloud. So let's just turn those off. We're going to grab the object selection tool. We're going to go under select subject here and we're going to change it to cloud and then choose select subject. We already know that this one has been improved a lot. And in fact, the one we're looking at in beta right now is the same as the one in the regular shipping version of Photoshop. So if you choose cloud, the selection I'm going to show you here is the selection you're going to get. All right, so let's have a look. Let's drag that above the red. All right, so I'm looking at the tires. This is device at the bottom. So looking at these tires compared to the cloud, pretty close. Looking at the spokes, I'm almost going to say, if you look at the spokes here and here, the on-device almost looks better than on cloud. Look at this, the forks here. Those forks are missing. Let's have a look at the person. Zoom in a little bit more. This is zooming in too far, but it's okay. So the one on the left is device. The one on the right is cloud. Looking at this, this looks, for this type of image at least, it looks just as good, if not better. All right, why don't we try a different type of image now? All right, so why don't we try two more? We're going to do this one here, which is, you know, the hair could be quite difficult here. And then we'll do this one as well, where it's backlit and, you know, it's a lower contrast, a little bit more difficult. And let's have a look and see how this works. Now, we're not going to go back to the other version of Photoshop because it's just kind of pointless. We know that doesn't look good. So from a distance, I'm not seeing much of a difference. The device is on the right. The cloud is on the left. Let's go to 100% magnification. Let's look at the arm. Looks pretty close. Looking at the hair, Also looks very close. The dress at the bottom. See, just a little bit, losing a little bit there. But not really that much of a difference. So I'm not really seeing much of a difference, which is really good news. So that means that with the new update to the algorithm, the on-device is pretty much as good as the cloud. All right, let's do this one here. Same thing. Not bad. Not bad at all. So if we're looking at it here, here's the device. Here's the cloud. So notice this area here. This is where the edge of the window is. Picks up a little bit there. Let's have a look at the device version. I think it actually looks better. Look at the crispness on the chair. Once again, that's device. Let's have a look at the... I think the cloud might be a little bit better for the back of that chair. Let's compare the two side by side. Yeah, the cloud version, I think, got the crisper area on the back of the chair a lot better, but still, I mean, that's pretty close. So to me, it looks like the device selections are really good, rivaling those of the cloud, in some cases even better. And so I think this is great. That means we don't have to send our images to the cloud anymore to make those selections. So we can do it all on device locally. So that means if you don't want it on the cloud, or you're traveling and you want to do those selections, maybe you're on a plane, you can go ahead and get those high quality cutouts now. So drop a comment underneath and let me know what you think. And by the way, just a reminder, all of these tutorials, I also have the written steps on the website at photoshopcafe.com. Sometimes the written steps are on the website simultaneously. Sometimes it takes me a day to get it done, but they are there, and all the past videos are all there at photoshopcafe.com. So check those out. And by the way, if you guys are new, welcome to the cafe. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and you won't miss any of my tutorials. And until next time, I'll see you at the cafe.